I'm Phil from PC Gamer, and this is an exclusive look at Homestead, the new player housing feature arriving in Guild Wars 2's next expansion, Janthir Wilds. ArenaNet calls Homestead the most player-friendly housing system in MMOs. Your home will exist as its own instance rather than being one of a limited number of plots in a larger district. So unlike a game like Final Fantasy XIV, you won't get the same neighbourhood feel, but the benefits should be pretty obvious. You don't have to enter a lottery to claim your land, and there's no chance of getting evicted if you don't regularly log into the game. Instead, you just get access to your homestead naturally during the campaign. ArenaNet didn't go into too much detail about the story of the new expansion, but your new home is related to its new faction, the Lowland Kodan. The aesthetic reflects their cozy cabin vibe. So obviously the main draw with a player housing system is decoration, the ability to customize your space. But there are a couple of neat features built into the homestead. First off, they act as a sort of showroom for your in-game collection of skins and cosmetics. For this playtest, ArenaNet provided me with a preview account full of characters, all of them named after members of the PC Gamer team. Here they are now, just hanging out. In fact, any alts that you leave in the homestead will appear when you visit with another character. Up to 30 can sit around at a time. There's even a little cave over here with a bunch more of them. Your mounts are here too. You can find them resting over by the stables, meaning you at last have a way to enjoy the fancy jackal skin that you got. Because let's be honest, how often are you actually using it in the game? And you can pet the mounts, it's pretty cute. If you hop on a mount, it leaves your stable, even if an alt was sitting on it. And if we head over here behind the lumber mill and over to the pier, here's your skiff. It's a small touch, but having a home for your mounts and vehicles is a nice shorthand for cementing this as your own personal space. Okay, the fun little aesthetic touches are all well and good, but one of my first questions when ArenaNet was explaining the Homestead system was about resource nodes. You see, Guild Wars 2 characters already have a little personal space for themselves. It's based in their starter cities, called a home instance. There's probably a bunch of players that have totally forgotten these even exist, but for some of us it's a daily ritual to visit and gather materials from any resource nodes we've unlocked or purchased. All of those resources are now also available in your homestead, as are any of the cats you've discovered around the world and persuaded to move in with you. All of it just carries over. There's also a neat little new option that should make the gathering ritual a little less onerous. If we head over to this box, there's just an auto-collect button, and it instantly completes any node attached to that building. This function won't be available when Janthir Wilds launches. ArenaNet plans to add it during one of the quarterly updates following the expansion's release, but even in the short term, the resource nodes here are much more efficient than in some of the home instances, by which I mean the Grove. Over in this building, you will find the crafting bench that lets you create new decorations to customize your homestead. It's a completely separate system from the scribing profession used to decorate guild halls, but the benefit of that is it's going to be a lot cheaper to craft items. You will need to convert some of your materials into a new homestead crafting resource, and then combine it with some other resources to add that decoration to your library. I should say here, this is an early development build I'm playing, so there are a bunch of placeholder icons and text throughout the build. Don't worry if you see a little digging sign. Homestead crafting won't be tied to crafting XP at all. Instead, you'll unlock more advanced levels through the mastery system by earning experience in the expansion's new maps. Over 300 decorative items will be available when Janthir Wilds launches, with ArenaNet saying more will be added through festivals and quarterly updates to follow. In total, there should be around 800 decorations that will be craftable by the end of the expansion's update cycle. The majority of these will be earned in-game, although yes, some will be exclusive to the Black Lion Gem Store. ArenaNet stressed to me any decorations bought either with real money or by converting your in-game gold into gems will give you multiple copies of that item to place automatically, and also a recipe so you can craft as many of that item as you want in the future. If you've tried decorating a guild hall in the game, you'll know it's currently pretty basic. You grab a decoration, place it on the map, maybe spin it around a bit, but really that's it. For Homesteads, the entire decoration system has had a pretty major overhaul. For the playtest, ArenaNet dropped me into a homestead that one of the developers had already started to decorate. Rather than a static prop, these houses over here are built from various floor tiles that have been repurposed as walls and roofing. The same with this lighthouse, which has been created from lots of individual pieces all fitted together. Now when you go to place a piece and realise, oh god, That's way too big. You've got some options to turn it into what you want. There's multiple skills on the menu that let you change the position, the rotation, the scale of the item. Decorations can even be moved into the ground or into the air or into each other. So with a little work and creativity, you can make it fit your needs. It's a pretty robust set of tools. You can even realign the pop-up arrows to be pointed at the map's global X and Y axis or locally based on the way the decoration is facing. And you can copy the scale and rotation of your last placed item so you can more easily reuse tiles when you need to put a lot of them together for a desired effect. Even once they're placed, you can switch over to the modification menu and adjust any existing item, giving you some power to fine-tune things after the fact. There's even a new X-ray vision mode so that you don't lose items into the floor. You just pop it on and you can see a glowing item even if it's through something else, and it lets you remove it more easily. Also, if you just need a different perspective while you're creating, just turn into a bee and fly around. I'm not the type of person who's going to go deep on creating some grand elaborate build, but even so, I had a lot of fun just messing around with the tools. Guild Wars 2's world map has expanded a lot over the last decade, so there's already a pretty broad set of decorations available. It's multiple regions and aesthetics. It's kind of fun to experiment with what's there, even if the result is just some garish dragon statue barfing rainbows. There are also a couple of new types of decoration. I really like these armor stands, which let you create a statue of your character. You just place it down, interact with it, and it will copy what you're currently wearing. And then you can set it to one of a number of fun poses. It feels like a fitting way to honour the true endgame of Guild Wars 2, fashion. There's a matching weapon stand too, so if you want to fill your home with reminders of the many hours you spent crafting legendaries, you're good. Naturally, if you're going to show off your collection, you'll need to invite your friends along. And while they're there, if you trust them, you can let them decorate your homestead too. There's a special permission in the menu that turns on group decorating, but it does mean that they'll have access to your library and can just place and modify things around the map. Overall, I'm impressed with what I've seen. Player housing is one of the bigger features on the community's wishlist, and the toolset here should let more artistic players create some really cool, surprising builds. It's certainly a huge improvement over what's currently in the game. Although, if you are a guild decorator looking on in Envy, ArenaNet did say that the new decoration skills and placement options are going to be ported over to guild halls too. Really, for me, it's the smaller touches that I'm most excited about. A hangout for my alts, a stable for my mounts, and the ability to show off the weapons and items that I've spent time creating. I'm probably not going to spend hours painstakingly creating an entire village from the ground up, but I love the idea of having a space that celebrates my in-game achievements, whether that's through decorations that recognise some big end-game accomplishment, or just a massive statue that shows off some cool armor that I spent ages crafting. Guild Wars 2 players will be able to get their own homestead on August 20 when Janthir Wilds releases.